Well, it started off, my dad got the car, he put it together. The way I understood, he only drove it one time, and the bad thing is he passed away in 1990, and my mom kept thinking about giving it to me for a birthday present, but she didn't like my ex-wife at the time. But in 1995, she decided, oh, it's time to do it. So she gave me the car for a birthday present. At the same time, I ended up getting a divorce. The car wasn't in this condition when I got it. It was nice, but it only had a 302 in it and a 4-speed. It's gone through a few different engine changes, and it's still not finished. I got a new engine I don't want to build for it too. I've got tubular front suspension on it. You know, everything's pretty much been changed on it. The interior, with the last paint job I got, he made a mess out of the interior with the wet sanding that he did on it, so I changed the interior on it. I already had, the interior was, you know, the seats were done. I just unbolted the old stuff and that, took it out, put the new stuff in. Same thing with the motors. I just swapped motors out now. It has this motor in it, which is 456 out of a 427 Ford, which are rare. I put a 5-speed behind it, and I've got a Lincoln for side disc brake rear end with a Detroit locker, because I love Detroit lockers. They're a positive type setup. So like I said, it's got dual 4s on it, and I took and had it professionally tuned, and the guy says, he leans over and says, this is not supposed to have progressive linkage on it. I says, well, it runs great the way it is. I get good gas mileage, but you're the expert, you look at it. He comes back and he says, yeah, the carburetors are fine. Everything's working great. So it turned out fine on that. Like I said, I changed from a 4-speed to a 5-speed, so it gets better gas mileage going down the freeway. It's set up with the right gearing in the rear end. So I'm doing about 2,200 RPMs at 70 miles an hour. So I get 15 miles a gallon going down the freeway with it with dual 4s.
What I have is a 1923 Model T bucket pickup. Some of the car is 100 years old. It's a steel body. The shroud, the lights are all, and the frame for the windshield are all from 1923. I bought this in 2012 from my brother-in-law. Of course, it's gone through a total transformation in the last 10 years. It has a brand new front end, new paint job, new interior, new springs and shocks all the way around it. So some of the unique things is that it has a Mustang 2 front end with independent suspension, disc brakes in the front, wildwood disc brakes, and also it has some embroidery work in front of the seat and across the what would be the glove box. It has our initials on it. And then also we have a keg gas tank that's been polished. Old keg, not the gaudy ones, but the 15.5 gallon ones that we all know from our days of our youth. These front lights right here that are on right now are battery operated. So the remotes. These lights are original kerosene lamps. Of course, they've been changed over. These are battery, and the rear ones are electric. It's not a typical Model T bucket. It sits on a Ford frame, so it sits up real beefy looking. The biggest challenge was in 2014, we took it to get interior done by a guy in Gresham, and in the process, we ended up doing more and more and more, and nothing was getting done. He promised it would be done by the Roadster Show 2015, 2016. Nothing happened. Make a long story short, come to find out, he lost his shop. Well, my car was in pieces. What we got out of there on the back of a trailer was the bucket and the chassis. Everything else was not done and was scattered from at his old shop all the way out to his house in Eagle Creek. And it took me a month or longer to get all my pieces back. Since that time, me and my wife, we actually put it back together. The first time we ever done it, we'd never done it before, but we did it in our garage. We didn't even know if it was going to start. It hadn't been started in over 3 years. Well, I finally got all the electrical done, and one night, it was late, I said, let's try and start it. And it started with some priming, but it started, and it was like, couldn't believe it. But it was quite a challenge to get everything back in pieces and then put it back together. So we love it. We love this car, and it's fun to drive.